Now, as more earnings, particularly from the banking sector, continue to trickle in, analysts believe the results are pushing a positive investors' sentiments. Mercy Okon, Investment Research Associate at Parthian Securities, joins me to discuss expectations from the Nigerian equities market. Mercy, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Briefly walk us through market highlights this week.
Oh yeah, so the market was bullish this week, although we had 2 out of 5 trading sessions closing negative, and this was as a result of the sell-off seen in Transcorp Power on Monday and the sell-off seen in Orlando, GTCO, and Juliusburg on Wednesday. So the market was positive, closing 0.44%, mainly driven by the positive sentiment seen in some key sectors, like of the banking sector, right? And we have key stocks closing on full bid. We had Seplas was on full bid at 4,103 naira, FBNH as well. And what we've seen so far is there seems to be an increased confidence and activity in terms of volume and value the month of September versus August, right? And the market seemed to have bounced back marginally from the dip we saw at the end of Q1 and Q2. And this is mainly because of some key sectors, likes of the oil and gas sector. I mean, we've seen remarkable movement in the oil and gas sector. To be more specific, we saw a significant movement in Orlando with a total return of 1,904% to shareholders in the past 3 years. Another key thing that we saw that has been driving sentiment is that the negative sentiment seen in the banking sector, after the announcement of the windfall tax seemed to be clearing, with the banks putting out statements of how the proposed tax has little or no impact on them. I mean, we saw the group CEO of Zenith Bank at the fact behind figure stating how this proposed tax has little or no impact on them. Also, with the banks releasing their half-year result and their dividend declaration, this has also sort of boosted this positive sentiment that we've seen so far. I mean, on Wednesday evening, we saw GTCO releasing its half-year results, recording a fantastic profit before tax of 1 trillion, making it the first, bank in Nigeria to declare a profit before tax of 1 trillion naira. We also saw a profit after tax of 905.5 billion, and we saw significant growth in the net interest income, which grew by 177%. And this is the best interest income reported in any quarter of in any quarter in GTB's history. And the growth in interest income was as a result of the loans to customers. We also saw a significant growth in the gross commission fee, which grew to 113.9 billion. And this growth was driven by the e-business income of 32.5 billion. And we saw a 16.3 billion income in terms of commission on foreign exchange deal as well. Similarly, we saw deposit from banks and customers grew by 117.62% and 38.37%. Another key thing is the fantastic dividend declaration from GTCO, which represented 100% increase from what they had declared last year. However, while the 1 naira per share seemed to be fantastic, it's important to note that this represents a dividend payout ratio of 3.25%, and this is like the smallest ever dividend payout ratio by GT Bank. However, I talked about how they had reported a 1 trillion profit before tax. Right, but it's important to note that about 62% of this growth was as a result of the unrealized gain. To be more specific, they had an unrealized gain of 609.3 billion, which means that income hasn't been earned yet. So, however, the impressive performance or the impressive results shows that the bank is aggressive and dedicated to its strategy to expand.
Right. I wanted to talk about Cadbury Nigeria and that announcement of a new managing director, first female managing director in 50 years, Oyeyimika Adeboye. We know that obviously this sector has struggled in terms of inflation, of course, FX issues, consumer spending, etc. But have you seen any movement in the stock? How do investors feel about Cadbury, and if this news led to any movement in the share price?
I mean, what we are seeing is it's just investors reacting. It's just speculations, right? However, there is no doubt that they are an upside turnout for Cadbury growing. However, investors need to be more cautious because there are key sectors or key factors that would influence or can influence the profitability of that company, and some of which you already mentioned already. However, another key event or key news that drove sentiment in the market this week was the news regarding the divestment of FBN Merchant Bank. And we've seen an increased buy interest in FBNH since then. And there seems to be some speculation as to how, this might be part of the recapitalization strategy, as they might issue a bonus shares from the proceed of this sale of the business operation. However, it's just a speculation. We'll need to receive more information from them to know what is really going on. And we're still waiting to get some level of clarity as to when their AGM would actually take place. And as FBNH is yet to come to the market to state what their plans are in terms of recapitalization as well. So yeah, we're just waiting out to see how that plays out.
Right, and finally, in 20 seconds, what is your outlook for trading in the coming week?
I mean, I'm expecting it to be mixed to positive, and this is because we are still expecting the earnings result of the likes of UBA and Access. And as you know from history, last year, when we had seen the result and it started declaring dividend, we saw like this. There was some sort of trend amongst the core banks, except Access, which was more conservative. So we're expecting to see similar trend this year, and I'm expecting that will fuel positive performance.
All right, thank you so much, Mercy, for talking to us today. We appreciate your time on the show. Mercy Okon, Investment Research Associate at Parthian Securities.